The Reg H ladder has been live for about 36 hours now, and I wanted to share with you guys some of the teams I've had success with early on in the format. Now, of course, guys, if you like this style of content and want to see more stuff for Regulation H, make sure you hit the like button, and of course, consider subscribing because we're going to be pumping out content as the format develops. I'll be covering things like tournament results, teams I like to build, tier list, all that good kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, let's take a look at some of these teams, eh? So the first team I'm going to show off here is my Primarina / Dragapult Balance. Now, this is the team I had the most success with early on in the format. I think I got to I was definitely top 10 on the ladder at some stage. I forget exactly how high I got with it. But yeah, really, really cool team. The team was kind of built around the idea of Choice Band Dragapult with Terra Dragon, Dragon Darts. The builds, again, are very, very simple. One thing you'll notice with a lot of these EV spreads, if it isn't like a balance piece I've been comfortable with in the past, chances are they're just max, and that's because we have to wait and see how the format kind of develops. I thought I'd touch on that now just because, I don't want to get too much into the EVs because, again, we're like literally 2 days into the format. I don't have specific EV spreads. I don't know what the second fastest Pokemon in the metagame is going to constantly be. So yeah, thought I'd just throw that in there. But yeah, so Ben Dragapult here with Dragon Darts, Terra Dragon, next of Giraffe. Basically, the gist of this and the reason I paired these two together is simply because of King Gambit and Sucker Punch in general. Sucker Punch is obviously, pretty good into a mon like Dragapult. So having the ability to block priority while also giving it a helping hand is pretty good. I've had a lot of games where people protect in front of it. You go Terra Dragon, Dragon Darts, helping hand, and you just frag something, and then the game feels pretty damn good. And then the rest of the team really is just built around having setup options next to the Dragapult. Rillaboom and Incineroar are definitely just like, the two premier, the premier balance pieces, right? Double Fake Out, Grassy Terrain, Intimidate, Parting Shot, U-Turn, just incredibly strong Pokemon. Primarina, though, I do think is going to be one of the better Pokemon in the format. It is a very, very good Fairy type. Arguably the best one in the format right now. And yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just Calm Mind setup. Again, it pairs really, really well with Rillaboom. Really, really good with Incineroar. Just a fantastic combo, if I'm being honest. And then the final piece here was another setup mon, and that's Golden Go. I think Golden Go is the best Steel type in the format right now. And I think it's definitely in contention for probably one of the top 5 Pokemon in the game. It just feels incredibly good. If you ever get up a Nasty Plot, it's insane. Lefties plus Grassy Terrain is also incredibly good. But yeah, I really love this team. It has a lot of ways to win. And yeah, just a very, very strong team. Basically everything on the team here is it's good stuff, yeah, and it pairs pretty well together. So the next two teams here are very, very similar. And it's just my two variants of Golden Crow, as I like to call it. Kind of touching base on what I just said before. I think Golden Go is one of the best Pokemon in the format. And a little known trick, a very, very potent combo back in the day, was a Choice Specs Golden Go next to Murkrow. Big reason for it is one, Make It Rain Choice Specs, Terra Steel in Tailwind is insane. Murkrow is probably a top 3 Tailwind setter, at least in terms of priority Tailwind. So yeah, you go first, you set up the Tailwind. Golden Go normally can't be faked out. You go Cover Cloak, so it's a pretty safe lead into, some balanced teams. Yeah, and then you just go Terra Steel, Make It Rain, with Choice Specs. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. You drop your special attack to -1. That's where Murkrow kind of comes in. You just haze away the stat drops from your Golden Go. And it feels pretty damn good, right? And then basically what Golden Go can't hit a Pokemon like other Steel types, King Gambits and whatnot. And that's kind of where Typhlosion came into the picture. Because we are playing on the best of 1 ladder, I have opted for Frisk. I think if you're playing best of 3, just go Blaze. I'll throw that out there. But I like having Frisk because sometimes on lead it can just show me what my opponents are, holding. But yeah, so again, Tailwind plus Sunny Day is really, really good. Terrifier, Eruption in the Sun is pretty damn broken. Especially in a metagame that is looking pretty slow to start. This mon doesn't necessarily need to be timid. Because of that, sometimes you can just lead Sunny Day Eruption. I've done it plenty of times, and you just double frag turn 1. Pretty damn good if you ask me. I've been enjoying it. I do have the Solar Beam here to hit the water types, because that is kind of where Golden Go and Typhlosion do struggle, is to actually deal really, really good damage to the water types. But that's also why we have things like Thunderbolt as well. We have the Giraffe, because I think Giraffe is just really, really good at blocking priority. Again, one of Typhlosion's biggest issues, similar to what I said about Dragapult, is things like Sucker Punch. So having, a mon there with Helping Hand, to power up the Eruptions obviously is very good. But on this team as well, I did opt for a very offensive Giraffe, because again, in Tailwind, this one can actually do quite a bit of damage, right? People will kind of ignore this, right? Say you sack your Crow, you're sitting next to like Golden Go or Typhlosion. You can get off a Hyper Voice, and then next, this guy at +1's actually doing a ridiculous amount of damage. But then the final two pieces here, we had the Ursaluna. Now, I really liked Ursaluna on this team because I felt like it patched up a lot of the tougher matchups for this team. Not to mention, hitting this speed tier is also pretty good, right? It allows it to outspeed things like Dragapult. And yeah, regular Ursaluna is just one of the strongest Pokemon in the game in terms of physical damage. And next to Murkrow as well, you can just fire off really strong Earthquakes, which I did really like. And then Hydreigon was the final piece on this team. It filled a bunch of, poor matchups. It's another Dark type, so it is really, really solid into Size Spam as well. It also gives me a really, really nice piece that I can pivot in next to Ursaluna, right? Like, say I get the Tailwind up, I've got the speed control, but I don't want to, like, lose whatever's next to my Ursaluna. You just pivot in the Hydreigon, I'm levitating, and it feels pretty damn good. I do have Terra Fire on this set. I do normally opt for Terra Steel on this, but because I am playing, a semi-sun team, that's why with Terra Fire Flamethrower, I thought it was at least worth testing. But yeah, really, really cool team there. And I'll show you the other variant too. So this was the original variant. The first 3 pieces really don't change at all. The only thing I had to change was Burning Jealousy to Solar Beam. But yeah, these 3 here, they're all basically exactly what you see. And the same with the Hydreigon. The Hydreigon was originally Terra Steel. Again, opted to change it to Terra Fire. That's up to you if you want to test the team out. Play whatever you want. Yeah, they're both fine. But then we opted a bit more for the Sun stuff here, right? So again, we have the Lilligant here. The big reason for Lilligant and Tauros is because I felt like the team definitely needed a good fighting type. It felt like we did struggle at times to deal damage to dark types, right? And a big reason for that is Murkrow and Hydreigon. Also, I just want to check this. Yeah, I had Nightshade. This should also be Brave Bird. I didn't actually check that on the other team. I think I forgot to update it when I moved him over to the PC. But yeah, so the team really struggled into dark types. In particular, like fighting opposing Hydreigons without my own Hydreigon was pretty difficult. And because of that, I felt like having 2 fighting types is really good. Hisuian Lilligant pairs incredibly well with the Sun stuff as well. It gives you another really fast option next to Murkrow. Because again, you set up the Sunny Day, now all of a sudden you're firing off, Solar Beams, right? So pretty good. Helping Hand as well makes it nice for things like the Typhlosion and the Hydreigon as well. And then Tauros is just a really, really strong Pokemon. The team, as I said, was having issues into King Gambit. So before I ended up saying stuff like, let's just go Giraffe, I did have Mirror Herb on the Tauros, because you come in, you give it the +2, you take the +2 off it. Now I got a +2 Tauros, just dealing massive damage. And the Hydreigon, already touched on it, but yeah, I had a lot of success with both variants of the team. I do think I like the other variant a bit more. It gives me a bit more balance pieces. And honestly, Ursaluna just feels so freaking good right now. So I think that's another big reason why I really like that team. So here we will have back-to-back Rain teams as well. So this is my original Rain team I built. The idea behind this team was pairing Ludicolo up with a Rain. Now, I definitely think there is a argument, especially on this team, because we have the Salamence for Politoed. Politoed is a lot bulkier than Pelipper. Obviously, it doesn't have access to the Stab Hurricane that Pelipper does. But again, Politoed's bulkier. It's got some other supportive pieces as well that Pelipper doesn't. And so I could see a world where putting it next to Ludicolo is very, very good. But yeah, Ludicolo was kind of the star of this team. I expect to see a lot of Dozo and Palafin. And Ludicolo just has a really, really positive matchup into it. I think I mentioned it in the video last night as well, but a lot of the Dondozas right now, they're basically like all Terra Grass. But I definitely expect to see Terra Flying and Terra Dragon both pick up in usage. And because of that, what beats all 3? It's an Ice type move. So a Grass Ice coverage is very, very good into Dozo. Also, Energy Ball, of course, is really good into Palafin as well, especially when you've got things like Terra Stellar, Life Orb, Energy Ball. So yeah, I felt like Ludicolo had a really, really cool spot in the current metagame. So I just built out some Rain teams around it. That's kind of the gist of it, right? Pelipper here. Hurricane is fantastic into things like Amoonguss. One of the better ways to deal with Rain teams, or at least water types in general, is Amoonguss. So having like a Stab Hurricane into it's really good. I found a lot of the time if I see, an opposing, Amoonguss on the other team, just Terra Flying. This could also be Terra Stellar as well. Is probably something worth mentioning. But yeah, you just go like Terra Hurricane plus Energy Ball into the Amoonguss, and it doesn't matter, right? They're almost always Terra Water. If they don't Terra, they're getting bopped by Hurricane. If they do Terra, they're getting bopped by Energy Ball. So yeah, it looks like a really, really strong combo. Archaludon, like one of the biggest winners of the format. One of the best mons in terms of its matchup into things like Blood Moon Ursaluna. Its like ability to eat the Blood Moons off it is pretty good. But yeah, this is just a mon that absolutely feasts in Rain. I have been testing out Terra Fairy just because of, fighting types and whatnot. You could definitely change that over to something like Terra Grass as well to give you a better matchup into things like Amoonguss, even Blood Moon Earth Powers and whatnot. But yeah, really, really cool mon. Definitely one of the best mons in the format right now. It's absolutely insane. I said it in the video I did last night as well, but Dragon types are pretty freaking insane right now. And Archaludon is definitely better, one of the better ones. I guess pivoting on from that as well, Dragon types being insane. This Salamence has been freaking so good on this team. The amount of end games I've won because my Salamence just comes in and just clicks like Choice Scarf Hurricane is insane. It's really, really good into like the Rain mirrors as well. With the Scarf, it basically outspeeds everything. I mean, obviously it doesn't outspeed like, other Scarfers, other Swift Swimmers, but it's normally a late game mon anyway. It's also a pretty decent mon at coming in on the Wave Crashes coming out of Bas Legion as well. Yeah, it's just really, really good there. I personally really enjoy it. Of course, Amoonguss is the staple, right? It gives you a really good matchup into Dondozo. It loves the Rain, resisting the moves it can take. Sorry, the fire type moves, I should say. And yeah, it's just really, really good. It spores everything. It can redirect, obviously, clear smog, you know, healing up your friends through. Like, if you Polar Puff and Archaludon, chef's kiss, man, chef's kiss. And then the final piece here was King Gambit. As I kind of mentioned before, in a Rain Mirror, one of the harder ones to deal with can be Bas Legion. And how do we beat Bas Legion? It's called Terror Dark Sucker Punch with Black Glasses. Honestly, you know, you could definitely change this. The Terror, at least. I think Dragon might be better on this team because, again, if one of the main reasons this guy's coming is into the Rain Mirrors, obviously, you know, they're not going to click Last Respects on me with a Bas Legion. So I think having a type that resists water is pretty good. And fairy types just don't exist right now. So I definitely think Terra Dragon is also pretty solid as well, if you guys wanted to test that out. But we do have the other version of Ludi Rain here. And this is me just changing out the back 3 mons. So we slapped on a banded Bas Legion here. This one, it's stupid. I literally lost a game last night where I thought I had the game won. And my opponent just clicked banded Last Respects 3 times and fragged every mod on my team. I'm pretty sure he even fragged a resist from like 80%. I was like, what the fuck just happened? But yeah, no, Bas Legion, very, very good on Rain team. I should mention as well the speed. You'll probably be like, oh, like why 119? They're all staggered, right? 116, 117, 118, 119. It's just so I know who's faster than who. And realistically, Tailwind's not that what's it called? It's not that highly used right now, so I'm kind of just staggering the team. I think, okay, I thought he was 120. Apparently not. I've just gotten max here. But yeah, I will say Golden Go in the Mirrors has also been fantastic because you can just lead it and just start firing off Thunderbolts as well. And of course, not in the Mirrors. Terra still make it Rain's broken. Said it before, I'll say it again. This one is absolutely insane. And then Incin, a big reason Incin came is kind of similar as well to Gambit. Like I did mention before, Gambit helped out a lot with Bas Legion. But what Incin also really helps with, and Gambit did as well, is Psy Spam. Psy Spam is very, very good right now. And yeah, it just gives you a mon that can play into it. You know, you can fire off some knockoffs. Yeah, it's just a good mon, man. It's just a good mon. Normally against those teams, I use it as a pivot anyway, because I tend to lead things like Bas Legion, paired up with like Golden Go. And then, or even like Archaludon, depending on what variant they've got. Because normally when I play against them, the goal is to kind of just deal as much damage as possible. While they're messing around, right? Even like, you know, going for something like a trick into the Indeedis as well can be pretty good, because you just trick them into follow me, and yeah, they basically have to just spam follow me, can't helping hand, can't gleam, all that kind of shit. But yeah, Rain honestly feels like probably the best archetype in the game right now. I even checked out, I think, the Beanie Tour yesterday. I didn't look too much into it, but I did see there was like 3 Rain teams in the top 4, so definitely worth keeping an eye on. So this one here is just a pretty standard, I guess, Kamoro Balance team. This is very similar to a team we saw in the past, where it's just like Kamoro P2. But in the current format as well, like I think one, fighting types really thin. Kamoro is arguably the best one. It's either Kamoro or Ape. And I think Iron Defense Body Press is very, very strong on it. P2 is probably the premier Trick Room setter right now. This guy is insanely bulky. There's no like fighting types at all in the format. And Incin kind of has to knock you off. But again, like Incin doesn't really want to lead into your Arachnid or your Kamoro, making it pretty difficult. But yeah, Spider plus P2, incredibly strong right now. You could potentially drop the Clear Amulet for something like Mystic Water. But again, I like having it just to make sure my matchup into the Incin is much better. But an incredibly potent combo here, man. Like Terra Water, Liquidation, Water Bubble. Like you nuke so much shit, man. Also, I run like no speed to beat things like the Ursalunas in Trick Room, which I do think is kind of important. It's also a pretty decent support as well for like Wide Guard support next to the Kamoro, which is definitely worth keeping in mind. Also a very positive matchup into Golden Go. It has a lot of special defense on this Pokemon. So with Wide Guard plus like its natural bulk, it is very good into it. Amoonguss on this team, again, it just supports P2 very well. If you get up the Trick Room, Amoonguss can kind of spore everything, allowing P2 to heal back up. And then, yeah, you can kind of like pivot then into your Arachnid and just, yeah, kind of heal it up or start dealing a lot of damage. Very, very good mon. Golden Go, you'll see it on like all these fucking teams, dude, I swear. But I really like Golden Go plus P2. I'm not super fast on this team here, as you can see, and the main reason for it is because Golden Go sometimes does want to go into Trick Room. So having that option there is very good. But yeah, I'm personally just a big fan of this. You know, with Incin, you know, you can go like Incin, Golden Go, Nasty Plot, Fake Out, you know, pivot into your Amoonguss, start redirecting while you fire off to make it rain. It's just a good team, man. Kamoro is in a really good spot right now. I think P2 Spider is also really good. And I mean, I've said enough about Golden Go already, I think. Now, for what I think a lot of people were considering probably one of the best, or at least one of the most, how am I trying to word this? I think a lot of people were excited for Palance. That's what I'm trying to say here, right? So we have Palance here, very basic set. This set here just says, hey, I'm doing a lot of damage with water type moves. And I have Haze to help out with Dozo. That's kind of what that is. Again, these guys here, very basic. I don't think I have to explain what Incin Rillaboom do. They're just a fantastic supportive core. completes a very nice Firewater Grass as well with Palafin. It's just really, really solid. It gives you good pivots for Palafin. You know, gives you fake out options to enable the pivots to be a bit safer as well. Just very, very good. Kamoro, the reason I kind of slapped Kamoro on this team was I wanted a setup mon that also was like a special attacker. And I was looking at things like Volcarona. I was like, you know, like Volk, it's kind of good, but like, do I want to stack like fire types? Maybe not. Golden Go looked really good on this team, obviously, but as I've shown off like 6 teams, 3 of them had Golden Go. I was like, I need to get away from Golden Go. But then this clicked. Kamoro Clef, incredibly good. I mean, Clangorous Soul into Clangorous Scales is very strong, especially in a metagame where 1, there's a lot of dragon types. Like I've seen a lot of teams running like blue dragons. 2, dragons are just very good into Firewater Grass bullshit. And then 3, it's good, man. Clef, you know, you've got the Rillaboom, man. Throat Spray giving you +2 to your special attack. It's pretty good. I had a lot of success with this mon. I think it's fantastic. Clef, again, very, very good with Kamoro. Obviously pairs really, really nicely with Instant Rillaboom. You have 2 strong fake out ones, so pairing it with a really bulky redirection one too, pretty good. And then finally, just another SD Gambit. I mean, I think SD Gambit's super splashable in the current metagame. It really does feel like when you're building a team, you get to like that last slot and you're like, damn, what Steel or Dark type can I put on the team? And King Gambit, Golden Go, Hydreigon kind of all fill that role of just really, really good splashable last mon. Now, for some of the teams, I'm not as excited to talk about here because I don't like seeing a one ladder. But this is just 222 Dozo. I will say, you know, this is just the variant I like. It's Sand, Psy Spam, and Dozo, of course. I have been enjoying this T-Tar set here. Again, we can probably tweak things a little bit, maybe make it a little bit faster and whatnot. But for now, this is what I've been really enjoying. I do like Terra Grass, but you could definitely convince me that Terra Fairy, Terra Blast is better on a set like this because 1, again, there's no good fairy type, so the best option we have is like Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. But yeah, I think T-Tar plus Lycanroc right now is very, very good. Of course, having, you know, Terra Ghost, Focus Sash, Endeavor, Rock Slide is just really, really good. You get dropped to 1 HP, you Endeavor them, they go to 1 HP, they die to Sand Chip, very good. Close Combat in a metagame where there's not, you know, an amazing fighting type, but there's not many amazing fighting types is very, very good. Especially into things like the Hydreigons, the Gambits of the world. This is offensive Psy Spam. Reason for that is I feel like I'm never clicking Trick Room with this team anyway. Like maybe there's a world where like indeed T-Tar can do some work on a Trick Room, but realistically, I don't think it's that good. And of course, we have the Power Herb, Meteor Beam stuff, Armor Cannon, Expanding Force. I've just gone max. I don't know if I can afford to go Modos on this spawn yet, but you know, it's there. And of course, Indeedee. The reason behind Psychic Seed is because if I'm redirecting knockoffs, I don't want to take as much damage. And of course, Follow Me, Helping Hand, basically the staple. Maybe there's some world where Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam does something for me. And of course, Trick Room in the odd chance where I'm going up against Tailwind. And I kind of need Trick Room. And then, of course, to wind it out, it's just pretty standard Tatsugiri here, right? It's just Toy Sky for Terra Dragon to my Draco Slap. This mon is like... It's not even tearing 1% of the time. Like, you're maybe tearing this guy... Maybe it is like 1% of the time. I don't know. Maybe I just don't tear it enough. Maybe that's my issue. But yeah, of course, Tatsu paired up with John Bozo here. It's just really, really good. I think I mentioned it last night as well, but the speed stat on this guy is so you outspeed, max speed, Palafin. That's basically what 228 does. But yeah, it's just super offensive. That's kind of the game plan for me, at least at this stage, is I'm not going to try and build this super bulky Dozo, especially on like a 222 set, as I don't think it's necessary. And I do believe as well, this is speed booster, I think. But yeah, like really, really solid. I think it's a pretty good team. Then we have the Glim Dozo team as well. The sets are basically the exact same. I think I haven't changed anything with these guys. I did offer Terra Steel on this one here, just because, again, I like playing around with different Terras. I never clicked Terra Dragon, so having Terra Steel is like, okay. But yeah, the gist of this team really is Glamora. Like, you go like Glamora, Talonflame lead, you know, maybe you get up the spikes with Toxic Debris, but it's not what the team's built around, which I do think is really, really important. Like, a lot of times people will see this and they expect you to slow play it. Where for me, I'm just like, hey, it's just a nuke, right? Like, you just go Meteor Beam, nuke something, you have Talonflame, you know, boosting you up. It's just pretty good, man. Like, this mon does a lot of damage, right? It does a lot of freaking damage. Of course, Talonflame, one of the better Tailwind mons right now. It has access to Will-O-Wisp as well. Also, Brave Bird, I really like for non-Sash Whimsicott, because you can just frag them before they get up their Tailwind, which is pretty funny. And then, yeah, Specs Golden Go paired up with Talonflame, I think is also really, really good on lead. Fantastic at just breaking a hole through for the Dozo. And then finally, Pawmot, you know, gives you a decent fighting type, gives you fake out support, and of course, Revival Blessing to get your Dozo back after it dies is pretty funny. We do enjoy that when it pops off. So the final team I did want to showcase here is the Coaching Ape team. Now, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Mouse Ape is definitely one of the best combos in the format. And a lot of people, when they see Mouse Ape, especially on best of one, they expect you to go beat up, bulk up. That's not what this set is. This is the wide lens. This should probably be Terra Ghost. This is something I was meaning to change as well. But yeah, this is the wide lens pop bomb, coaching annihilate. So the game plan here is, because I'm a ghost type, I just coaching my mouse ape, or sorry, my mouse hold. You get like +1, and then technician population bomb absolutely just starts nuking. It's a base 300 power attack with technician. It's stupid. You get it to +1, insane. The reason for fighting on this as well is I didn't think there was a defensive terror I needed. So fighting is for close combat to deal as much damage as possible. It's still pretty good. Meowscarada, again, this is another pretty good mod in the current format. I do think having the ability to coaching your Meowscarada is also pretty good. But also having Stab Knockoff, Stab Flower Trick are both really solid, and having access to Play Rough, I think, into all these dragons is very nice. Corviknight as well. This is just a mon where it kind of fills that steel type niche. It's also really good into the Insins of the world, good into like Icy Wind speed control stuff. The set probably could be tweaked a little bit, but I will say having like Brave Bird, I did find really, really nice on this team. But yeah, access to things like Bulk Up and whatnot is very, very good. I will say the one thing with this team that I kind of did think about tweaking was I think it might need Fake Out support. Potentially putting Rillaboom in the Meowscarada slot as well could be solid. And again, Rillaboom plus coaching is also very nice. But the Glimmora slot was probably the other one I looked at where I was like, maybe this should just be a Fake Out Pokemon. But again, it would need a bit more testing. The team did feel really nice as it is. But yeah, definitely putting Fake Out somewhere on this team I think would help out a lot, especially for the Corviknight to get going. Very similar to what we saw before with the Glimmora. I just love this one, dude. This one is such a nuke. Like, it just feels so damn good right now. This set I opted for Energy Ball as well, just to help me out into some of the rain teams. But yeah, I love this one. I think it's incredibly good right now. And especially too, like, if this thing gets going, get the +1, they let you, fire off 2-3 attacks. It feels insane. And then finally, Skeledirge was the fire type of choice on this team. The reason for that is Terra Grass, Unaware, just hard walls out Dozo. You can slack off through all its bullshit, you Will-O-Wisp it, and then yeah, you eventually just beat it down. Really, really good mon. I really enjoyed this team. This was a lot of fun. As I said, this is the team that probably needs the most tweaking. But regardless, I still really enjoyed it. And then look, to round us off here, I'm gonna show you guys the first team I built in the format. I don't think this team's good. I wasn't originally gonna show it, but I was like, fuck it, why not? It's funny. It's technically the 11th team I've shown today. But yeah, this is just my Talonflame plus my Brockshish. It just nukes like Adamant, Sharp Beak, Terra Flying. It just nukes shit on lead. Like, you just remove a Rillaboom. But like, they're like, I can just like go Fake Out. Like, you lead like Talonflame Garchomp, and then you just go like Terra Flying, swap in your Brockshish, and it does a lot of freaking damage. It's pretty funny. Not to mention, Terra Water, Mystic Water, Wave Crash also frags out Incin as well, which I thought was pretty funny. I'm pretty sure it frags it through Intimidate, which is one of the things I also looked at as well. Chomp's pretty self-explanatory. This is just SD setup next to Talonflame plus Hydreigon. This Hydreigon's job was really there to beat Trick Room teams. You probably could also opt for Terra Steel on this. I forget exactly why I did Terra Fire. As I said, it was the first team of the format I built. Life Orb Golden Go next to Talonflame. It's good. Same with Gussie. It's just good. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's the teams there. Of course, God, I've almost spoken for like 25-30 minutes at this stage. But yeah, I guess if there's any other teams you guys want to see me build around, let me know down below. I've got so many ideas. This format feels so damn open. It's actually kind of overwhelming. Like, I literally look at it, I'm like, dude, there's like 30 mods I want to build around, but like, I want to build around them all right now. Like, Zard is another mod on my mind. Like, I generally think Charizard's probably one of the better Sun Sweepers. So it's definitely something I've got to look at. But yeah, guys, I guess let me know down below what you think of these teams. Let me know if you like this style of video. And of course, if there's anything else you guys want to see me, make in the future. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this one. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.